Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Emberpelt Z, where I have no idea what I was doing last time. It's been a few days. So, let's see what we did last. It looks like we finished this up. That's cool. That's Gucci. We put in a lot of storage. That's Gucci too. We put in all of this over here, so that's going to provide us with copious amounts of nice juicy lumber, which is going to be great. It's going to be needed for all of the projects that we're going to be working on. And then I believe we put in all this. So that's going to take a hot minute to get through and to, but we've got time, we've got things to do, and we've got beavers to do it. And of course, we've got some more beaver huts going in, so that's going to provide us with a tad bit more in the way of beavery goodness. And of course, we've got this over here ready to go as soon as this remaining 8.5 days dissipates and allows us to restock this entire area. I'd like to also kind of blast this down too, just so we can have some more water available for these guys to pull it out. But we're doing okay overall on the waterfront. We're decent-ish on the overall juice front. I probably want to change this over from beet juice to tomato juice, just because we have that in spades right now, because our tomato farmage has gotten pretty good, because we kind of zerg rushed the last bit and got things moving. And I think what we probably should think about doing is trying to squeeze in a couple more of these juicers or presses so we can make some more different types of food stuff. So if we look in here, you can actually make corn juice. I don't know who would like to actually eat corn juice. I personally don't believe that that's absolutely necessary, but you know what? To each their own. If they like the corn juice, and they like the corn juice. I'm not going to stop anybody who's ridiculous for the corn juice. Anyway, I digress, and it's probably the not the first time or the last time that I will digress today, but I would like to get in here and get this moving. And I would like to get this up and running and producing fuel for us again, because I want to start transferring these engines over to the fancier engines. These liquid fuel engines, they produce a metric ton of power, which kind of negates the necessity for this stuff over here, honestly. I don't think this is even necessary to get into to build or anything anymore. We'll make a bunch of these liquid fuel engines. Now that'll require us having a bunch of refineries running all that, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay accepting that reality. But let's go ahead and get back into the game. Now I am low on beavers. I only have I have 6 slots open. Majority of them are from here. We have 6 builders rocking and rolling, and the rest of the field is full. So that is good to see. We've got all this going down here, which is really nice. It means we have copious amounts of foodstuffs running. We've got plenty of wheat. We've got plenty of tomatoes. We've got plenty of corn and a metric ton of apples over here, which is fantastic. Now, I did realize that I don't really have that much in the way of assisting in build or tearing out these trees down here, actually. So what I'm going to do is have them empty this out. We'll put in a gatherer flag, or not a gatherer flag, a lumberjack flag there. And I would also like to put the gatherer flag back in here. I don't know why I tore it out, but it's okay. We'll give this a priority bump so that our builders will come over and do it, because they are working on stuff like this over here, which is a good thing. Like, those are good things for us to tackle right now. But I would like to get some of the other things accomplished that allow us to do good stuffs. So let's... Do I not have a storage spot for bricks? I probably don't. Okay, can I put bricks in here? No, I cannot. So that needs to go into the regular storage piles, which is kind of stinky. But we can rectify that relatively simply. Theoretically. We're kind of running out of space over here, which is not cool. I don't like being space limited, and yeah. This map is so tiny. I'm very not used to being this constricted, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. We've got brains allegedly in our brain ball, attached and ready and willing to assist in all of the brain thinkage and whatnot. Anyway, I digress. That's gonna be okay. I need to stop digressing, guys. It's not going to actually do anything for us if I keep digressing. Put beaten radish juice in that one. That one's a decent position. Let's see, maybe I have them finish this one. I'm not entirely sure. All right, let us see here. Where can we focus some of our attentions here? I think they're not going to be able to actually build. Well, theoretically, they should be able to build this from here, right? And then they should be able to... They may not be able to actually build that. We might have to get them some stairs down in there so they can reach in and build that platform right there. That is one of the limiting factors of trying to build underneath. This blocks them from building it, which is kind of obnoxious, kind of annoying, but it's fine. We'll make do with what we have. How are we doing on scrap? That's a good question. I'm going to say we're doing okay for now. Maybe we pause one of these, or we accept the fact that we're just down to 8 haulers or 9 haulers, which is okay. I'm willing and able to accept that. I kind of want to drop these priority-wise just a tad bit. I'm not really hard-pressed for all of that to get up and running, and I think what we would like to do is actually unlock our liquid fuel engine. Now that of course means getting in here because I want to have access to our bad water, but I would also like to have beavers to fill those positions. So that means that we give these a priority bump so that we can actually backfill all of that, which means we can then in turn fill this in and get all of the other hauling post positions appropriately filled and max out this builder's hut, which will be beneficial to us. That will be good. They did build this, so that is good to see. I don't want to blast that out right now because the moment I do that, this is all going to start drying out, and we don't want to lose our maple and or our oak. That's good stuffs to have. I like to have my oak and my maple and all of the other fun things. Now, this is going to dry out here in the next probably day or two, but the longer that we can keep all this alive and growing, positively growing, then that means it's closer to it reaching maturity and us actually pulling it out and getting some lumber from it, which is beneficial to us as a whole. Now, why do I have this monstrosity going on right here? I'm not entirely sure why I did all that. And we could actually get in here and probably start tearing that out too and getting some lumber, retrieving some lumber for us. Now we've created 6 additional beds for ourselves, and this is going to get built up relatively quickly. There's another 6 beds. So that puts us up plus 12, which should more than meet the intent for this down here. Now I want to give that a plus up. Probably that. Don't necessarily need that to have a plus up, but I would like it to sooner rather than later because that's going to provide us with copious amounts of storage for our bad water. Now I think we can probably go ahead and tear these out for now. I don't think we have a need for those anymore, and that's some material back that'll be beneficial to us. Let's see here. We are going to have to get down there to actually work into that as well. And I think when we get an opportunity to cap this off, we'll just cap it off and leave it turned off, which will be fine for what we need it to do. Now, we have 10 kits rocking and rolling around, which is good. Maybe we should think about getting some more entertaining things for them to do because their overall happiness is not the greatest. The more things we get to do for them, it means they grow up faster, which means they can in turn get to work for us faster, which is always a good thing. Always a good thing. So maybe we can go in here and start unlocking some fun stuff like the clock here. We can put that in right there. That'll cover down a fair portion of the living spaces for these guys, as well as some of the work areas for these guys. So that'll provide them good amount of entertainment. Put this down here maybe, just so if anybody is taking the the tube way around. They'll get the little tag on the happiness scale, and then maybe over here as well, just because this is where some of our beavers are sleeping. So we'll put that in right here. That'll be nice. It'll look quasi decent, which is rare for me, you know. Maybe we'll unlock the brazier, provide a little bit more happiness for the guys if and when they get stuck in there. And I think that's a pretty cool place for another brazier right there as well. And then we'll come over here, probably think about putting in... I don't necessarily want to put the roofs on because I want to eventually stack these higher, which would be nice for us. I do want to give these a little bump just because it shouldn't take that long for them to build that stuff. Now, that is empty, so that's kind of stinky. I want to tear that out, and I want to put in another piece of triple dynamite. I am going to give that a max priority so that gets accomplished sooner rather than later. That also means that all of this is no longer growing, which kind of stinks. That's all going to die out, which stinks to high heaven. That's kind of why I wanted to put something in over here to help out with that so we don't run into that issue, but there's nothing we can do about it right now. And with this being in the position that it is in, we're kind of limited. Maybe we come over here, we cap this off. Maybe that's our next big project. We knock that out. That would be probably a smart idea, honestly. I'm not opposed to doing that. Let's go ahead and prep that up. Let's go ahead and put in a bad water discharge. That should be within reach. That requires gears, metal blocks, and explosives. We've got metal blocks, not in the best of spots. Gears, we've got a decent amount. And then explosives, we've got a fair amount. So go ahead and then put in something like that. We'll put in a couple of these and then one of these. I think I needed that, the inverse of what I just did. So let's go ahead, click that. Gears, explosives, then metal blocks. We'll give this a minor priority bump. And then we'll have them set to obtain. So our haulers will come down here and bring us some more stuff. Now, let's see if they got any of these completed. They did not. They are waiting on planks. We are waiting on planks everywhere. Apparently, this is all going in and it's eating through our planks, which is not cool. But we do have plank manufacturing going on. It's just taking its minute. It also doesn't help that we're kind of running low on lumber, which is not bueno. Let's tear that out. I want to get one of our lumberjack flags in here. Give this a max priority. I do need to tell them to not prioritize that. And same for that. Probably could just tear that one out. I honestly could tear all of these out. Let's go ahead and hit that button, get that emptied out. Same for all of that. And we'll get some lumber back for ourselves. It'll be nice. That'll be Gucci. You can work on all of those. You can replant dead trees. You can't reach that. Actually, kind of crazy. Don't know why you can't reach that. Can you reach it now? You can. So when you get back into position, you should be able to reach back in there and start ripping all of that out. So that'll be good. That will be good. All right, that is the end of our bad tide, which is going to be very good for us. That means we get to, well, refill this entire area back here. I think we can blast this out now, which will be really good for us. That will fill in. That will then provide copious amounts of water back in here, which will be good. Thankfully, I have... All right, we're going to drop that priority-wise. I don't know why they didn't work on those. Probably because that was... They had stuff available for it. Metal blocks, explosives. Well, then, heck, you guys already got the metal blocks in, so we'll just go ahead and delete that one and delete that one. You guys can pick up those logs, I guess, and that will be good. We got one wet beaver somehow, which is fine. We'll accept that, and we have 13 kits still running around and still not the most entertained And probably we got 1 clock, we got 2 clocks. That's nice. And we got 3 clocks. Heck yeah, let's go. That'll provide a nice little bonus to our happiness overall, which will be nice. Let's see. You get the clock bonus right there. I think what we need to do is start vamping up our overall industry, though. This industry setup right here, not the greatest. And there's a lot of real estate in here that is green that we're not being able to fully take advantage of. So I'm thinking what we can do is come down here and start filling this entire area up with industry. We've got forestry taken care of over here for the most part. I do want to get in here and actually expand this a tad bit. And I need to turn that back on too, because of those bad Johnnies right there. Those are going to expire here in about 7 days, which is not exactly what we want, but okay. So we got one guy in there that's going to provide us copious amounts of bad water. Now, there's not a place to store the bad water for us, which is not what exactly we want, but we do have lumber coming in, so that is really nice. We can actually backfill some of this in here, since they did finally come over here and tear those steps out for us. We left one set of stairs in there. That's totally fine. I don't know if I can necessarily rip this out yet, because I think this still spreads over this way a fair bit. So I'm going to keep all of those in, try to prevent any excessive amounts of bad ground, bad water spreading in bad places for all of our guys. So that is okay. I'm willing to accept that reality for a minute. Now, let's see here. We could, in theory, once we have this blocked off in about 50,000 years. Wait, did I put a discharge on this one? Or did I put a... I did put a discharge on that one. Do we have the block? No, we do not. Interesting. Okay. A little happier. That's good. That's good to see. This is all green again. This is all filled in. And that's a nice deep hole right there. That'll provide copious amounts of irrigation for a prolonged drought and or bad tide. Now, it's not going to provide us the most, but it will provide us a good amount. And we could probably even come in here and start blasting some of this down as well. And that will provide us with a bit more to work with, which I'm not opposed to doing, I should say. Now, that's going to get a couple of our builder beavers wet, but that's okay. I'm willing to accept that. You know, you can't... Never mind. Never mind. Okay. So, I would like this to be done. And that also means that I would like to have this connection done sooner rather than later. What we could do, in theory, is actually run one of these two-way stations, do the same type of deal that we did over here. Get a two-way station just running down here, providing them with a little bit of a faster jaunt down to the workspace, which I'm not opposed to doing. The problem is there's a lot of stuff in the way that prevents us from doing that thing, which is not exactly what we want to have happen. But that is fine. Let's go ahead. We're going to pause the game real quick, and we're going to look at industry and see what we want to put in here. So I want a few large lumber mills. We can run power back through here, but theoretically that shouldn't be an issue for us. So let's go ahead, get that in here. We get... So two-way station, dropping down from here down to where this hauling post is, and then stairs down to here. That should be fine. I think that will work. Or we just use this two-way station. Kind of... I'm torn. I'm so torn. Okay. We can't really determine how good that will actually help with their commute values. for now, but this will have to do. We'll accept that. Go ahead and install one of these for an extra 500 science, which is totally fine. We can even install a large smelter down here. Theoretically, entrance is blocked. Okay, maybe we can't install a large smelter down here. Dang, that is massive. It's another 1,000 science. I did not anticipate a 4x3 right there. That's kind of not exactly what I wanted, but that will do. Now this is going to require a lot of planks. That's going to require a lot of planks, and this is going to require a lot of planks. I kind of want to give these a priority. And I also want to get this power station unlocked over here. Now we can feed that in probably, maybe we don't need 2 lumber mills there. We put this in right here. And that should be easily fed across, and then we just put in a power shaft right here to connect those two. And that should do what we need it to do. Now, theoretically, this produces as many as 2 of these guys. I don't really know if it's... If we look here, 1 every 3 hours for a gear. This is just for the lumber mill. You get 1 every 6.3 hours. And it takes 2 beavers to fill that position. If we look in here at the regular, it takes 1 beaver and 1.3 hours to produce 1 plank. So the only thing you're getting is just doubling up your timeline requirements. What are... Yeah, you're having your timeline, but you're doubling your beaver requirements, and you're also taking up a 2x3 versus a 3x3. I guess you're saving 1 spot. Theoretically, that's a little bit of a space saver. I guess that's nice. I'll take that. I'm just now realizing that I don't have a really easily accessible way in here. So we're going to have to just put some stairs in right here, and then put this path in. We're just going to run that down. That can go down here, and then... Honestly... yeah, let's do something kind of cool like this. So hit... I had a thought. It was a dangerous thought. You know what? Let's not do that. Put this here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can have industrial piles right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, 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 here. And that's not what I need there. Need something like a small tank here and here. And you will be fuel, and you will also be fuel. You will be logs, you will be planks. You will be planks, and you will be gears. So we need a small warehouse right there. Gears. Then you'll be scrap, and then you will be metal blocks. That will be nice. That'll be nicely set up. And then what we can also do is give them a little bit of food stuffs down here to make their lives a little bit nicer. So that should be, let's call it, I don't think I have apple pies running yet, but we can give them baked beets. Then we can also give them some baked, or what are those called again? Stuffed peppers. That'll be nice for them. That'll make them happy. Grilled corn is always delicious. I do like grilled corn. Okay, don't let my previous comment concerning corn juice dissuade you. I like corn. I don't know if I like corn juice, okay? Alright. Alright, sweet. That'll be something nice for them to work towards, and that will be really, really Gucci. I do want to drop this priority-wise, because that is eating through our planks like no one's business, honestly. Probably hit that button there and get all that turned down a tad bit. And we have a drought incoming. And we have a couple beavers with nothing to do with their hands, which is totally fine to see. I do want to give this, 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 and this priority. Theoretically, they should be able to build that stuff from on top, which means I don't need to give them access quite yet. I would like to give them access sooner rather than later, but for now, this will meet the intent, which is totally fine. Question is still, okay, what priority did I give this? And why haven't they built it yet? Okay. Can I get all required materials? That's planks, 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 planks. Okay, that's fine. We have planks moving. Needs power, not connected. I knew that was going to be the case. This needs a lot more logs. It needs a lot more gears, which we should have the gears on hand, ready to rock and roll. We've got the metal blocks. We've got the bricks. Yes, we have the bricks. Good, good, good. And we don't have the planks. The planks are the holdup right now, which is kind of stinky. I hate to be in this position constantly, but it is what it is. Maybe once we get all of this industry up and running down here, and we put in a few more, which I'm not opposed to doing. So another lumber mill right here, and another large here workshop in here somehow. Maybe we go back and blast that line out. That would not be a bad idea. And then another... I don't think we need a large smelter, honestly. Between those two, we should be okay. In between this one and maybe a regular size smelter that we put in right here. Now, of course, it doesn't fit. Okay. Okay. Sure. This looks so ridiculous. What I get for not doing the smart thing with these guys right here. Give myself a little bit more space to work with. But it's okay. It's okay. It's doing its job. That's all that really matters in the end. We have a bunch of metal blocks down here. We've got a bunch of gears down here ready to rock and roll. That's good. So we can actually, since we have a few spare beavers running around, fill up that build spot. Look at all the other things that we need to actually get moving. And this is just requiring the last few metal blocks and the last few gears. Maybe we should have plussed up the priority on all of these just so we can get them done. And then any materials that can come down here would be beneficial and allow for us to help with the builds. So we can hit the obtain, we can hit the prioritize. You can do the same for the prioritize and obtain for the planks that are going to be needed for all of these builds anyway. We can detonate some of these right now and build in our stairs so that they can actually just quickly access those and rage appropriately. I kind of want to put in, keep blasting the rest of this out just because I made an aesthetic choice. Okay, does it need to be like this? No. Does it make me happy? Yes. That's all you need to know. Okay, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. There's our drought. This should be nice and full now. I forgot to blow this out, which is kind of absolutely awful. That means we're not going to be able to store up a little bit more water in here. That's on me. I accept responsibility for that. This, however, is still nice and full, which is really good. That is good to see. I love that. I truly, truly do. And that has still not been touched because, again, planks. Planks, 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 planks. Now, do we have this turned on? We do not. So let's turn that on. We'll pull that down. Let's see what you are. Your extract. Do I need extract for anything? No, but I do need charcoal, which I am producing a fair amount of, so that is good. I don't think this guy takes power, so there's really no need for that to be here, but it does transfer power nicely, so I'm not going to tear it out. Which, yeah. Lax workers and lax workers. I think we can pause you for a minute. We can also pause you for a minute. Pause you as well. And it'll give us a few more positions back. I was about to say, they did not put that in already, did they? I was a little concerned there for half of a second. Did not expect that to go in like that. Now, this is good though. This is good. Now we're producing more planks. I want logs to come down here and be prioritized as they obtain. Now, we don't have much in the way of actually getting some additional logs in here, which is kind of stinky, but it is what it is. Now let us see here. Do we care to break into some of these apple trees to deal with our lack of access to materials? Probably not. Kind of want some more of this lumber back, but it's okay. We're doing okay. If I had a way over here to take advantage of these 4 logs, that'd be nice, but this is fine. Do I have this marked for cutting still? I do. Do want to tear these guys out. They're not doing anything for us, so probably give that a little priority bump just so our builders can come over there, rip that out. That'll be good. Wait, how did they build that one before that one? Hold up. Wait a minute. How did you guys do that? How did y'all do that? Huh? Huh? Care to explain yourselves here, guys? No? Okay. Well, you know what? That's fine. You do you, boo. You do you. But this is running. That's good. That's providing us copious amounts of power. That's going to be 1,000 units of Hewlett Packard's power or horsepower, whatever you want to call it. This is going to consume a fair portion of that, and this is going to consume another fair portion. So we might run into a power supply issue overall. It's not exactly what we want to deal with. Maybe we do tear these out. Yeah, what do they already put in here? They put a gear in there, or a couple gears, a couple logs. That's fine. We can have them come pick this up because that material is good for us to have, and I would rather have our smelter and our large gear workshop moving rather than those things right now. It's going to provide us with what we need, what we desire, and it is fuel, it is fire, and it is all that I desire. Nope. That's all you're getting out of me. I'm not getting a DMCA hit, okay? Not today. Not today. All right. We're doing decent on wheat flour. We need to plus up our storage on all of our food supply. Sitting with wheat flour maxed out like that is not the greatest. I do have... What is the... Apple pies is... Do I not have somebody making apple pies yet? Apparently not. Let's see here. What are you making? You're making baked beets. Good. Yeah, I know what we're going to do here. We're going to click this button. We're going to click that button. We're going to give this a max priority. We're going to give this a cut command there. We're going to blast this out, give this a max priority as well. I want some of this real estate back in here. That will allow that guy to run in here, chop that down. That'll get us 2 more logs, which is always nice. There you go. You're going to be bored out of your mind for half of a second, but that gives you a few more to play with. That gets you a few more logs. There we go. Planks are moving up, so that's a good thing to see. We're burning through them about as fast as we are producing them. It's not exactly what we want to see, but it does do the job. Now, I kind of want to blast all of that out and down, except for this line right here, because that's where our water goes down and through. So I do want to give this a minor bump. That'll get us a few more logs back, and this will also give us access to blasting this down by 1. Blasting this down by 2, and then blasting this down by 3. You should have access to all of that. Then that also means I want to put that at a priority and then put that at a 1. Give this a priority bump as well. Hit that button here in a second. Not right now because we don't have access to it. Am I out of extract? I am. That means I need to get somebody in there to make extract for us. But that also means that you can get paused because that's empty. That's fine. We're not empty on that yet. And we have a bunch of kits that are running around that haven't adulted yet. I need y'all to do some things for us, all right? Cool. Building lacks power. Why are we lacking in the power? Could have sworn this... No, it doesn't lack power. What is happening? What is wrong with you? This is fine. Everything is fine. Yeah, building doesn't lack power, clearly. It does lack bad water, though. No, it's not connected. Why are you not connected? Oh. Wait, did they... Man. Alright, hold up. Give that a priority bump. Actually, give that one a max priority. And then we'll give that one another max priority here in a second. Because apparently it doesn't transfer power that well there anymore, which is kind of stinky. Okay, and then we want to give this a max priority. That'll reconnect all the things, allowing us to transfer power appropriately. Now we probably need a bit more in the way of juice because this is going to consume a lot of our juice power juicy stuff. So it means we'll probably pause that for a second here in a little bit just to ensure that we are good. Then that is waiting on them to slap it. That is waiting on more planks, which are being produced. We're already back up in the 50 plank range, which is really, really nice. I love to see that. I also am mildly entertained by the fact that they are somehow already punting their way through there. I do need to give them access down here. That means that we put in a staircase right there. That'll give them access to reach in there. Put that one thing right. They're already in here. I love it. This is all going in. Extract is the limiting factor for all of that, which is kind of stinky. And planks, of course, are going to be a limiting factor as well. I do want to reduce this priority-wise on this side. And I'm not entirely sure what I was doing back in here. Probably storage. I may have been thinking about doing storage. I don't recall. I do not recall. And of course, I can't do that because I didn't give myself a way down to actually get that done. Because I'm ridiculous. Which is fine. Maybe we give this a priority bump just so they can reach that and get that knocked out. Because that would be nice to have knocked out sooner rather than later. How are we doing over here? These explosives are laid. That's good. We'll rip that out. Throw in one more explosive right there. Give this another priority bump. And then that will get us access to apple pies, which will make our beavers that much happier. Who doesn't like a good beaver that's happy and excited about apple pies, huh? Huh? It's the American dessert, you know? Everybody loves a bit of an apple pie, yeah? Give this a max priority so they can come clean that up before I block it off. That will be good. We've got building lacks workers, hauling posts, and that gather flag down there, which is fine. Don't think you need to be in there right now because you're kind of not doing anything. I don't think you're necessary at all anymore, honestly. Yeah, you don't need to be there. I could probably even take you out. But I'll just leave it there in case something drastic happens. You don't need to be there right now because none of these are going to pop for another 15 days or even longer, so that will save us a body. How are we doing storage-wise on apples? We need more apple storage. We need so much storage, but we need the lumber and the planks to produce the storage. But this is working as advertised, though, so that is nice to see. That's keeping this irrigated well into our 21-ish day drought, which is what we want, and then it should, in theory, keep all of this irrigated for a really prolonged period of time, which is really nice. Really nice. We are doing okay on explosives. We're doing not the best on extract. Probably plus up our beaver bodies in there. And how are we doing on bad water total? Not the worst. Where are we storing bad water? It's over here. Let's see about putting this back in, I guess. Give ourselves a nice little path over all of that. Give this a priority bump. Oh, they finished that. That'll be nice. So you can be a supply line, and then you can be probably torn out. And I can tear this out as well. Let's tear that out. Tear that out. We'll put in that right there. Put in another storage tank, another medium tank right there. You can be bad water. And you can be an obtain button. We'll give you a minor bump as well. And then, honestly, I'll just leave those there. It's not a bad thing to have additional storage for bad tide. Can't go wrong with it. Cannot go wrong with it, theoretically. Now, we do have enough planks to actually get that knocked out, so that's good to see. We do have the large gear workshop up and running, so that should help with gear production. We could probably pull that down to 1 for now, as we are maxed out on gear storage as it is. And we should probably think about getting these up and running. But this requires a lot of gears and a lot of planks and logs, which we're kind of hurting in the log department. We could theoretically come in and tear into some of these apple trees, which would give us a copious amount of lumber, but I don't want to do that. Could tear this out, though. There's no need for this line here. You just put in some stairs. That's like maybe 50 logs there that we would get back, which is kind of worthless to us. Honestly, all of this back here and get that back. That's a fair amount of lumber there, which would be nice. That'll require me to do things and try to make them get in there and clean all the lumber up, which is going to be a pain in the butt. So I don't think I care to do that. I do not believe I care to play with that kind of fire. Still requires so many planks. I swear, it's the same amount of material. I think they just put bricks instead of metal blocks for the large tanks for these guys, which is fine. I accept that as the reality that it is. How are we doing in here? Oh, wow. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Already almost done with it. One more, and then we'll have a connection. And they're touching it from both sides. There we go. Now, how much did that actually help out? It helped out a fair amount. Right? That is really nice. Now we're not red down here. We're still a little orange. This is all orange. But it is in a much better spot than it was before, which is really good to see. Now, what we could do is probably put another one of those tubeway stations down in here. Right? Somehow finagle that in, like, right here. Put that in underneath there, and then run our... where was that? Two-way tunnel. There-ish. Give that a lower priority. I'm not too concerned about getting that done with. And then we put in something like this bad Johnny, the small two-way station right there, and then that should feed us that juice a little bit quicker. But for now, we've got juice moving better. Did just realize that they can't necessarily move that anywhere right now. So let's go ahead and get that in. We'll give this a priority bump. Odd that they already started working on that. What are all these? Gears, logs, metal blocks. We're not hurting too much on all that. We do have these guys up and running. So that is all moved. So in theory, we should be able to tear this out. Tear these guys out. We haven't really expanded our overall production capacity, but we have moved it out of the way, which is a good thing. It means we're able to save a bit more real estate up here and provide us some working real estate, which is really, really all I care for. It's not all I care for. It's nice. What I would like to do is figure out what to do with all this. Now that I have this stairwell is no longer necessary, and I can put in another liquid fuel engine on the other side and run the same type of thing over here, which would definitely put us at having doubled our overall industry, aside from the explosives factory, which we could shove one in here. How are we doing demand? Not doing bad demand-wise. I would want to put in a second one just to ensure that we're not putting ourselves in a bad position. I will change you over to fuel, though, because we only have a little bit of fuel storage available to us. That is in. That is good. Bad water is somewhere. I don't know where it's off to. Right there? No. Where do you guys store the bad water? Is it in here? Yeah, all the bad water stored in there. Do I? Yeah, it's fine. That is waiting on charcoal, which means we need haulers to run it down, which is beneficial to us. And let's see here. You're sat on your bum because you don't have anything to do with your hands. Let's go ahead and put in another large explosive right there. We could even think about what is going on down here. Do we want to... Is it worth our time and effort? I feel like the answer is maybe. That is not cool. Put somebody in there to fill that in. You can pause for now. We can actually get over here, and that's all irrigated, which is good. This is all still irrigated because of all this back in here. This is all irrigated because of all that back in there. So that is good. I do want to get over here and figure out a way to get to some of this real estate. I don't know how I want to go about doing that, but I do also want to work on destroying this or clearing this out. So I think storage-wise, we're doing pretty good on the waterfront. Maybe we turn this back on and have them empty these two out. Get this done, which means that we get an additional 600 storage capacity for water, which will mean that these guys can pump into there, which means that we'll have enough to cover down and backfill anything as necessary when push comes to shove. I still want to also get... kind of want to do something silly. Do I do something silly? Can I do that? That's the question. Will it let me do that? I don't know. Probably not, because that's in the way. I'm curious. I would like to know if I can do this. Can I have this? I can. I can run that way. Can I put this underneath? Will it let me put that underneath? Will that cause a problem? Potentially. Maybe we don't do that? I don't know. I was gonna like put a pocket of water. Like a small water reservoir. That guy is very bright. Lampin to full magic. There, sir. You are very, very green. You are very, very, very green. And it's scaring me. Not really. That's pretty neat. I like that. I like that a lot. I know that that's one of the cool things for the Emberpelt mod. Is that randomly a beaver will be born with some sort of different skin. And that is pretty Gucci. But I do know if you rename them, it removes that that coloring from them, which is kind of stinky. Kind of stinky. But it's okay. All right. So we are moving now, though. So that is good. Extract is good. That is still not been touched. We've got this up and running. This will soon get cleared out. I kind of want this to be done sooner rather than later. But we have so many more planks now. I love it. I love to see it. Maybe what I should have done is put this on platforms back on top of this thing instead of running these staggered platforms, but whatever. Choices were made. Choices were indeed made, which is totally fine. So why are we taking the stairs? That is the question I have now. That is a choice. It is a choice that I'm not the most excited about. If I were to cut this line off, what is there? Yeah, everything's still the same. I don't know why they chose to go the other route. Alright, that can go away. Now that'll get us a few more logs and planks back, which would be nice to have. We'll also get the opportunity to tear all the rest of this out, which would be even nicer to have. Our storage capacity is still 3,300. We're going to lose another 300, so it's going to be about 3 grand, which is totally acceptable. I want them to take that last little bit of water out, which would be nice. And then we can come in here and then we can rip this out right there. That's going to give us a lot of logs, a lot of planks back, which would be nice. That cleared up a little bit of real estate for us, and that also means that we can come in here and tear that path out right there and start putting in our other liquid fuel engine right here. Now, theoretically, we should be able to do the other things down here like we did on the other side, but we'll do it in the mirror. So like that, like this, then something along these lines. Will I be able to fit that? I don't know if I'll be able to fit that. No, I cannot fit that. Jag nabbit. But I can fit it there. Not exactly how I want that to go in, but it'll do. We'll have to run the path in and around the backside, but it's connected now. That's all that really matters. It's kind of mirrored, except, yeah, it's mirrored. You know, this one had that one space there, but, you know, it's fine. Let's put our pathing in. And we can't do the same thing that we had earlier with the stairwells and everything, but it's fine. It's fine. This is going to be good. That means that we get storage back. Storage space back, which would be really nice. It'll be really nice, actually. I love to see that. I love it a lot. Kind of. Nah, there's no need for that. No need for that. I wanted to think about running a two-way down into the thick of it, but I don't think that's necessary. In any way, fashion, shape, or form. things are moving appropriately. Our builders are coming down here and they're building all of the things for us, which is good to see. We're going to have another set of lumber mills going, which means that we can start thinking about tearing this out here soon. And I would like to actually start putting in food processing down here. So let's think about putting in some of our 4, 5 presses down here, which will be really good. Now the presses don't consume that much in the way of power, so theoretically we should be able to meet the intent for all of the things. How many juices do we need to actually produce, though? That's the real question. We've got 4 juices and then canola oil. So we need 5 of these running. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I would like to have more than just those 5, honestly. But I don't really have much in the way space-wise. We're just going to have to accept probably just the 7 like that. Now, I would like to have storage down here for all of the different food varieties, as well as putting something in here. Then that also means I want to put something like this along these lines right there. Probably rip that out for no other reason than we can. And that means putting in our small warehouses right here. And probably moving this over to this side. Metal blocks. And that means putting in another one of these small warehouses right here. So let's see here. You're going to be canola oil. That means that you're canola oil. And that means that you are canola seeds. You are going to be apple juice, which means you're apple juice. And give me a few seconds. We'll be back after I do this for the next 6 to 9 seconds. It'll be great. It'll be huge. It'll be amazing. All right. That's in. That'll take a few seconds for them to build all those things for us. It's going to be log dependent, which kind of stinky because we're not doing that well. Oh, we got a few logs over here, so we can turn this guy back on. That will be beneficial for us. And now these are all built down there, which means we just lost a bunch of positions. But we also have all these to tear out now, because we've got plenty of jobs being taken care of elsewhere. And theoretically, this guy wasn't doing that much, but we could put in some power to pass between them, but I don't think that's really necessary. And we can even start tearing this out, start tearing some of this stuff out as soon as this stuff gets built down here. Now, I have noticed that the juicers are relatively slow, right? It's one of the problems that I've noticed with the juicers. I've been doing a playthrough on Twitch, and it has been noticeable how really slow they are at actually keeping up with the demand. So we'll see if we'll be able to keep up with all that. These are all already almost done. That's kind of crazy to me. I do want these to have a priority, and we'll get our stairs in to backfill those positions and funnel all of that pathing in, which will be nice. We do have 4 beavers that are hurt, which is kind of stinky, but this has given us so much more real estate to work with. We have a lot of logs here. That's nice, and a lot of planks, so maybe we give this a bump for them to come clean up. That'll be a little bit of scrap metal, and that'll be some logs and planks right there. Probably tear this out, honestly. And might as well tear out the grist mill because we haven't been using it. I do want to use it because grist mills are nice. That lets us do the thing over here that I was planning on doing about 5 hours ago that I've completely neglected to do. Which is put this in right here, flip that like that. Tell you to be making our apple pies so we can make our beavers a little bit happier. And then you gotta come in here and start detonating all of these bad Johnnies like this. One at a time. One at a time. It's fine. Half the fun, right? Half the fun. All right, so that goes right there, there. There. Is this excessive? Yes. As I said, having fun with it. I don't normally get to do quasi-aesthetic things. And we'll go ahead and give these all plus ups just to make sure that they can get accomplished. Probably give that all a plus up as well and hit that button there as well. That means that we'll be able to gain access to all that stuff. We're waiting on lumber a little bit. This will give us a nice little shot in the arm, get us moving in the right direction, which would be quite beneficial for us. And I am very happy to see that we have made some good progress here. We got real estate reclaimed for industry. Industry is in a much better spot down here than it was up here. That means that we can reclaim all of this, which would be really, really good for us. It means more food production, so we can, or even more tree production. This guy can reach out to there and touch that stuff and maybe put in another forester in here so we can help out with all the things, which would be really good. But I'm pretty happy with it. I would like to get these finished really quickly, because that would be really nice. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, if you haven't already hit that like button, I would appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate that. Well, we're well on our way to the mythical 1,000. And I appreciate each and every one of you who've been along the ride with me. But I'm going to get out of here. I need to go to bed. It's late. I have work. You guys have a fantastic day wherever you're in the world. Make sure you guys stay nice and safe, nice and thirsty, and keep rocking the free world. And we'll catch you all in the next episode of I Don't Know What the Beavers Are Doing Anymore. All right, I'm out. See ya!